I don't know. Have you ever wondered whether or not you're going to be nuked? In other words, your town or any place near your town is going to be nuked. Well, this is this really cool map that's based on all the open source targeting informations out there. The SIOP and RISOP stuff. It was produced by a guy who hangs out in the nuclear war Reddit by the name of 1984 Orion. That's his screen name. And he went through the trouble of putting this. And a lot of this open source information is based on what both the US and the Russians have published as far as their targeting priorities for counterforce and countervalue. And then based on that, applying common sense and logic, you can identify all the targets. This one's based on a strike of 1,200 warheads, roughly about two-thirds of what the Russians have in ready. Just on the North American strike, I'm sure they'll probably the other third will be on Europe, and he's going to do one for Europe and Great Britain. As you can see, you can scroll down. You can see it at all. It's pretty crowded over here. You can see even targets in Canada. One's all out there. And of course, Hawaii is going to get nailed pretty bad. It's nothing but, especially Oahu, is nothing but a bunch of military bases separated by small pockets of civilians. It's that place will just sink into the sea. So, what can you do with this? Well, you can kind of go to where you live. Say, well, since I'm primarily got an American audience, I look, well, God help you if you're in North Dakota. There's all these are the missile silos over here in yellow. Bang, 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 bang. If you're living in this area, you're toast. In fact, you're living just across the border, and the fallout plume will just be stretching all the way here. It'll just be horrific. I mean, get lethal doses in half an hour if you're out there. So that's pretty bad. Other places you have, Cavalier Space Forces things, factories over here, government, capitals of states and provinces. I mean, if you look at that, you can click on an icon and find out what it is. For example, I can go to here and click on that, and it tells me it's the Indian Island Naval Station over there. Over here, we have the naval station in Everett. Of course, well, it's just pick someplace. I don't think the Russians going to nuke specifically Microsoft, but they will nuke Seattle in that sense. So it's not perfect. It's still in beta. It's still being adjusted. Um, and there's a few things like, for example, in my hometown, I can see why you want to take out both the airport at Abbotsford because they have the air show there and they've landed B-2 Spirits there. And of course, Vancouver International Airport can handle bombers and stuff like that. But they missed out on exploding one in the harbor to take out the port because Vancouver's the second largest port in the West Coast. And they're guaranteed they want to blow that thing to pieces. Of course, Victoria is done perfectly because, of course, in the Esquimalt here, we have the Royal Canadian Navy base where the anti-submarine forces, we want to take that out, obviously. And going here, for example. And so if you go over, of course, obviously, you're going to look at, besides the missile silos, here's all these yellows are where the America keeps its missile silos. Of course, you go to the eastern seaboard, it's going to be pretty grim, as you can see over here. Lots of targets out there. Washington, yeah, that's going to get, it's going to look like, they're going to look like Crater City. It's going to have more craters in it than the moon. And of course, Philadelphia, all these places down here, Virginia Beach, Richmond. It's going to get nailed pretty good out here. New York, of course, obviously, too, lots of targets in that area. So this is really cool. I'm going to leave the link to this one. I'll also leave the link to the one he's done on Russia, basically hitting Russia with 1,000 warheads from us. And again, he'll be updating these things along the way. And it's you can kind of explore where you're going to do it. And once you know, like, okay, say I live, near here, say here, I can go, and it scrolls down to like Google Maps stuff. So it's pretty cool. You can actually get to see all the buildings and stuff like that. So for example, they're going to nail this power plant and I kind of live over here. I can just then take that location, put it into the Nukemap, and I'll actually give a link to that too, and then see where the thermal radius is, blast radius is, and where the fallout plume is going to drift, and then from there make my plans accordingly on how am I going to survive this thing. So yeah, this is kind of a cool tool, and I'll put the links up there. Bye for now.